I was telling the other group, my grocery stores, I like to drink kombucha, and I like the original, GT original. And they're out of that, of course, because they're out of everything normal. And so at the natural grocers here, they have a new one called Bloom. And I thought, oh, that's a pretty bottle. What's it got in it? And listen to this. This sounds amazing. Elderflower, jasmine, and violet. And I thought, oh, that's going to be, that's beautiful. Those are wonderful. What it should say is, this tastes like soap. It's not my pretty low on my list of ones that I'm going to buy a second time. All right, let me make sure I'm tuned up. All right, I'm tuned up. Good, Janine. Glad I'm making sense. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We've got a handful of people in here, and we usually have one or two drop in a little bit later. Um, My name's Gary. I am the director of the Denver Guitar Orchestra, and I am not the world's greatest guitar player by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm an okay guitar teacher, and so that's why you're hopefully here. I do things exactly backwards from the vast majority of guitar teachers on our planet. Most of them will teach you chords and then expect you to strum your guitar, and they will teach you to sing, hopefully, or not. And the melody will come out of your mouth and the chords will come out of your guitar, and you will be just amazed at how wonderful you are. And that will last about 6 months, and then you'll quit. And the reason you will quit is that the songs get harder, the songs get more complicated. You are done playing the four songs that you remember from your teenage years, and then you're like not sure what else you're going to do with yourself, and you don't like singing anyway. And so I meet guitarists all the time in my classes who, yeah, I bought this guitar 20 years ago and then I haven't played it since. And that's a very common story. And so what I thought was, let's give guitarists a reason to show up every single day, and let's forget about playing cool songs. Let's forget about playing uh, the four songs that you remember from that you had on an 8-track tape in your guitar in your car. Let's talk about playing guitar just using a set of skills. Take that set of skills and then apply them to whatever song happens to come along. And so rather than teaching chords first, I always teach melody first, and that is the program that you're sitting in on today. The big difference between playing melodically and playing with chords is that the guitar is going to be doing the singing for you rather than your face. And if you still want to sing, if you still enjoy singing, that's I'm not going to take that away from you. We're absolutely going to get better at that. But what we're really going to get better at is getting the melody and the tune out of the guitar. And we're going to do that using tablature and standard notation, using the sheet music. And I know there are guitar players out there who will tell you very quickly, I don't need no stinking sheet music to play music, and they don't. You'll also notice that they tend to be older men who say that, because they've been playing for 40 years and they just have managed to find a way around it after years of gutting it out. And there's no reason to be that person, right? You can take a piece of sheet music like you have in front of you, Three Blind Mice, study the skills, take the skills that are on this paper and turn them into all of the other songs that you really do want to play. And you'll find out pretty quickly that you thought you wanted to play this song, but actually, playing these weird songs from composers you've never heard of on guitar from the 18th century is actually way more fun, way more interesting. And so hopefully I give you a different view on how to play guitar in these lessons. I am very aware that fingerstyle is the current way to play guitar. It's how not all, but lots and lots of young people are coming to guitar, and they're doing an amazing job. Basically, what we're taking is a lot of the skills you would do in classical music and a lot of the skills you do use in jazz guitar, and we put them onto popular tunes using just those skills. And turn you into a really fine guitar player the way I think most adults want to play. We don't need a fancy guitar, just your $300 Yamaha guitar is going to be just fine. Two things, a handful of things that I kind of am a stickler about. Number one, we don't use the capo in fingerstyle guitar. We don't need it because you're going to learn to play all of the chords and all of the positions. We don't use a pick in fingerstyle guitar because we need to use all four of these fingers, so you can't be holding on to a pick, so you can get rid of your pick. So there's two pieces of apparatus that have just go away right off the bat. Next thing is I use a nylon string guitar, but you do not need to. I will oftentimes, some of these lessons, I will use a metal string guitar. That is irrelevant in this style of music. You use whichever guitar you happen to have and will enjoy playing the most. Other things I'm a stickler about is having good posture. I'm going to tell you the correct way to hold the guitar, and then you decide how you're going to hold the guitar. Any way that is different than what I teach you is going to cause you more work and make it slower for you to learn. But you're you, and you can do what you need to. Okay. Big thing here is I got a guitar at a 60-degree angle. This is oddly close to my face. I'm always amazed when I look over, like, whoa, it's right there. What I'm not doing is letting the guitar be way down here. When the guitar is way down here, I have to do a really dumb thing with my wrist in order to play my chords, and that's just not ideal. So if I get this up here, it's going to be much easier for me to play. The other thing that I will tell people is when you stand up to go play at Red Rocks with your rock band, the guitar is going to drop down in front of you, and it's actually going to be in classical music position. So when you're sitting at home, it makes sense to practice in the same configuration that you would actually use to hold a guitar on stage. It's not normal for you to have a strap around your neck and then have the guitar sitting like this. It is not normal, right? This is how we play when we're sitting down. This is how we play when we're standing up. So why not just play this way when you're sitting down also? I do that with, I got a footstool that my left foot sits on top of, and my right foot sits basically flat on the floor. Sometimes I tuck it underneath me, but mostly it's right on flat on the floor. I'm thinking about my spine and making sure that it's nice and straight. I don't want to be leaning way forward. I don't want to be leaning way back. I don't want to be hunched over the guitar. I want to just have a nice medium posture. And my shoulders, when I'm playing, I have a tendency to get stressed out, and so those have a tendency to come up. Again, not ideal. We want to just have a nice soft body posture all the way through. Last bit of posture discussion. This pad of your thumb is going to ride on the back part of the neck. I'm never going to see your thumb. There should never be a reason for your thumb to come up over the top. And it's that thumb is going to ride right behind wherever my middle finger is. That's how we're doing this. Okay. If you can get those two things, get those 27 things I just said correct, you're going to enjoy playing a lot longer. You're going to be able to sit for more hours in practice. You're going to be able to impress your friends and neighbors more quickly. And so that's what I recommend in terms of guitar and guitar posture. Now, you will fight it, and you can do all sorts of other things to see if you come up with a better system, but there isn't a better system. Classical guitar players have used the exact same system for hundreds of years, and it works for them. And it's cowboys and rock stars that come up with this other stuff, and they're doing okay too. But it's a lot more work to play that way. All right, we've got our guitar in proper position. We already have it tuned up, level 1 song that we're working on. We're still, when I'm teaching classes, I double check, do you know the phrase that pays? Eddie ain't dynamite, goodbye, Eddie. And so I go through and double check that everybody's tuned up. If you have not purchased one already, you want to own. I do not get a kickback from this, by the way. This is a Snark tuner. Snark. Looks like that. The one you want is the most expensive one you can find. Snark is putting out new ones or newer models now, and it's the H8, I think, or ST8 is the fancy one. It says super tight HZ, and then sometimes they change the face on them a little bit. But let's see if I can get there's some light on it. Super tight HZ. That's the new one. It's got a high definition screen and a super advanced computer. You really do want to own one of those. If you bought one of the cheaper ones, it's going to break. It's going to go through batteries like crazy. When the batteries go out, throw that one away and get yourself a Snark. They're just better. Okay. There are other ways to tune your guitar up. You don't want to do them. It's going to take them way more time. You should probably download a tuner onto your cell phone just so you have it. But really, it's not accurate and every single noise messes it up. So those aren't ideal either. Just get a good clip-on tuner, stick it on the end. That's how you tune up. It takes you a third of the time, a fourth of the time to tune up your guitar. And that's what I want you to do. All right, we got the guitar in tune. We got it in proper playing position. We're now going to face our skill set that necessary to beat Three Blind Mice. Now, I know when you bought a guitar, you're thinking, hey, I want to play Three Blind Mice. Of course not. What you are thinking about is I want to have all of the skills necessary to play Bohemian Rhapsody as a solo acoustic guitar performance, or the entire Star Wars medley as a solo acoustic guitarist, or whatever. And the way you do that is by studying Three Blind Mice. You get these skills and get this skill set put in place, then you can go do that easily. Most guitarists do this exactly the opposite way. We go buy the book with the song in that we want to play, and then we try to force ourselves on that song without having any of the skill set in place. And it's exactly backwards. That's what we do. I did it myself. And so we want to get our skill set in place so that we can play anything. And that's what we're after today. Okay. This is the last song in level 1 that I would expect students to actually know and be able to play through the whole thing with some level of authority. And so the other song that is in the book is called All Through the Night. It's a stretch piece from level 3 that uses the same chords as I teach in level 1. But in level 1, we're really talking about getting comfortable with our 4 main chords and then being able to read tablature correctly. Or if you have previous music experience, you can use the standard notation instead of the tablature. I give you both. The idea is that you would use them both for reasonable things. So, for example, tablature is great for telling you where to put your fingers and which string to plug. It's not great for telling you how long to hold the note. And so that's what the standard notation is for. It's really great at telling you how long to hold the note. It's really great for visualizing when you have rises and falls in music. It's very, very effective for some things. The problem with standard notation is that these 4 strings strung plucked like this have these 3 have exactly the same notation as this. And you don't know on standard notation which one the author wants. Tablature clears that up, tells you exactly which one he wants. So tablature has some real strengths on fretted instruments. Standard notation is probably less strong on fretted instruments than it is on, say, orchestral instruments. But so you get both from me so that you can play in both systems to your advantage. All right. The chord we're working out of today is the G chord, and lots of ways to make a G chord. So I'm going to go through all 3 that I think most new people need to know. Sorry, that probably sounded great on your speakers at home. Index finger here, 5th string, 2nd fret. Middle finger up here, 3rd fret, 6th string, and then your ring finger goes down, 1st string, 3rd fret. Okay, that is the shape that I want you to have. Okay, and I'm really trying to get it where you can see how it looks when I'm playing it. Right here, right here. Okay, that's how I teach G chord. Now, there are 2 important alternatives to this. It is very normal when you see professionals play or higher level players that they will, instead of doing this shape, they'll take their ring finger, move it up a string, and then add their pinky onto the bottom. Okay, so that they have both of those strings covered. Okay, and you get a little more pop out of it. There's a little bit more tension on the bottom strings there, down here. Okay, so that's shape number 2. Instead of just having this one, you use both fingers there. That's very nice. And then shape number 3. Hi, Jim. Welcome. Jim is in the house. Last shape that teach, if you went through folk music guitar, they taught you this shape probably. Okay, and here's how this one works. Instead of using your index And middle up here, you're going to use your middle finger, your ring finger, and your pinky finger. That leaves this finger open for to do other jobs. Okay, so this would be the other G chord. Okay, sounds the same. It's just different fingering. Now, I don't like this shape. I don't like this shape because I find it really challenging to get my ring and pinky finger on in time. And so I don't generally play with this shape. However, in this arrangement of Three Blind Mice, it's going to be a real benefit to play that way. So it's a great opportunity to practice that. And because we're going to need this finger to play the second fret of the third string to get that note out when we're playing the melody when we get to the tough axe part. So first time through, we're going to just sing and strum it. Then we're going to go through, we're going to play the individual notes, and then we're going to come back through and play the tough axe way. And when we play the tough axe way, we are actually going to use that shape so that we can get that, so that we have that finger available to make that melody note. Okay, so let's get your favorite G chord on, whichever one makes the most sense. Okay, when you are coming out of different schools of thought with guitar, they've taught you different things with your right hand. I teach a nice steady down strum with your thumb to get started. Okay, this is my bread and butter. I think it's beautiful. You know, on a G chord, you can hit all 6 strings, so it sounds really pretty. Okay. If you are wanting to fancy things up a little bit, take this index finger and have it go down on the face of the nail. Get a little harsher sound, a little more tension in it, and then come back up with the pad of your finger. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And you'll notice I'm sort of tucking my finger in with my hand open. That's as close to playing with the pick as I get. I think that gets you a lot of energy, and it's great. Okay. By the way, when we use a pick, it's meant to help you make the guitar louder, and that's what an amplifier is for. So if you get rid of your pick, you just turn up your amp, and you're fine. And plus, you get a lot more skill sets with your right hand. Other skill sets that we want to work on, you might want to take 4 fingers, pick any 4 strings in this case. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or the middle strings. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or the low strings. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't matter. You can split them up. The low, bottom 3 and the upper one. Okay. That process of using a small claw on these is really important, really helpful. Okay. And then when you're doing this type of picking, the final thing you can do with your right hand, not the final, but one of the more advanced pieces is turning instead of just plucking them all at once, pluck them in order. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thumb, index, middle, ring. Thumb, index, middle, ring. Doesn't matter which strings you use. Gives you your higher level of playing the same thing, and you haven't done anything except hold a G chord this whole entire time. Okay, we're going to sing through this twice. Okay, we're going to kill a lot of mice. Instead of 3 blind mice, we're going to kill 6 blind mice, and we're going to do thumb the first time through, and then the second time through, pick a different pattern, whatever you want it to be. Okay. Also remember, when you are the chord player, you are also the drummer, and so you want to keep a steady pace. Okay, and you want to hit every single beat, whether there's singing or not associated with it. That's what we're doing. Okay, from the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice. See how they run. See how they run. They all went after the farmer's wife. She cut off their tails with a carving knife. Have you ever seen such a sight in your life as 3 blind mice? Change your pattern. 3 blind mice. 3 blind mice. See how See how they run. They all went after the farmer's wife. She cut off their tails with a carving knife. Have you ever seen such a sight in your life as three blind mice? Don't ever let up your cord until the guitar is completely finished ringing out. If the guitar is ringing out too long, like you own a $10,000 guitar, you have to stop it from ringing. And then you're going to take your palm and just slide it up onto those strings to get that stops it very quickly. And we don't want to slap our hands down to get it to stop ringing. It sounds bad. Okay, so there's playing the G chord. Okay, and whatever G chord you were holding was the right G chord. It sounded just fine. Okay, and whatever strum pattern you do over on the right hand, there are no correct strum patterns, or just whatever you as the artist finds to be the most effective. Okay. All right, now let's play the tablature. Again, level 1 is all about learning to play standard notation. It's all about learning to play the tablature. It's all about reading the music page so that we don't have to sing. You hear me singing, it's not good, so we want to get rid of that. The sooner the better. Okay, our notes are going to start on the open second string. And then remember, everything in here is either a 1, a 2, or a 3. So you want your fingers to be a 1 for the index finger, 2s are going to be middle, and 3s are going to be ring. There are no other notes in this, so just make sure you're making good finger choices to make yourself faster down the road. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 2, 0. 0, 2, 0. 3, 1, 1, 0. 3, 1, 1, 0. 3, 3, 3, 2, 0, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 0, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 0, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 1, 0, 2. Let's play a little faster one more time and go. 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice. See how they run, see how they run. They all went after the farmer's wife. She cut off their tails with a carving knife. Have you ever seen such a sight in your life as 3 blind mice? Okay. How'd we do? 100%? Hit all the notes? If you're reading from tablature and you're just reading those numbers, I almost always sing the numbers these days instead of the words because it's helpful. If you are singing the notes, if you're playing the actual tablature, it's a good idea to go ahead and sing those. B, A, G, B, A, G, D, E, C, C, B, B, sorry, B, C, C, B. Had a brain freeze. So that's another way to help you learn the fretboard. Is it essential for you to learn to read standard notation in guitar? Absolutely not. Is it a good idea? Heck yeah, right? I mean, it's just one of those things where it's one more smart thing that you can put inside of your thinking cap and stick inside your ball cap so it doesn't fly out and make you just a better human being and better musician all the way around. If you are a young person and you're going to go to college in guitar, there is the absolute expectation that you can read standard notation without the tablature attached to it, and you should work on that. If you're not going into academia, there's no urgent reason why you would tackle it from a standard notation perspective unless you want to. All right, that's gives you chords, gives you melody. In my book, Tough Axe puts those together. Okay, so we're going to take some time, walk through every single note, then we'll go back through and play it, and then we'll be done for the day. Look how fast we're going. Okay, the nice part is when I can't hear you, I assume you're playing perfectly, and so that's and I'm sure you are. Okay, again with this Tough Axe program, what we're doing is taking chords, we're adding the melody onto it, and then we're having to make minor modifications to the chord based on what the melody is doing. So the melody stays exactly the same, but we may have to modify the chord in some way or another to accommodate that melody. So I will recommend that you start this with your middle and ring finger on the G. Okay, you can put your pinky on there. That's the shape I want you to use. But we're going to need to use this finger on this note here and just the very next strum. And so I'm going to show you how that's going to work. We're going to play. The first one is 3-2-0-0-0. Then I'm going to take my index finger, put it on the second fret of the third string. And notice my thumb is physically resting on the string I'm not going to play. In this case, I'm not going to play the second string, and so my thumb is actually just resting on it so it doesn't accidentally go off. Now I'm going to lift up this index finger and play 3-2-0-0. And then I got this 3 note up there. It's just a decorative note. Okay, there's no reason to play it, but other than it sounds cool. Okay, let's do it again for measure 2. Add your index finger. Get rid of your index finger. Hit the 3. Okay, let's take your pinky and move it up 1 string, and now you've got 3-2-0-0-3 on. Get rid of your pinky and trade it out for the index. And then a nice strum. Another decorative note. Move it back. Grab the 2 ones. Strum. Now this is no longer a decorative note, it's part of the melody. And drop it back down. Grab your regular G probably. Okay, now we have a problem, right? We've got to get this G chord, and then the melody note's a 2 under here. So I'm probably going to take my G chord, slide this under. And you get that G minor 7. Sounds cool, right? There's going to be that 2 under. Okay, then lift up. 2. Back to your regular G at measure 8. And probably we're thinking to use this fancy G here to get all of this ready to go. Measure 10. Go grab the 1. Grab this G chord. Add your 2. Regular G. Decoration. And decoration. Okay, so that's what we're working on. We're going to play through it a couple of times. Here's the thing you should know. If you are truly level 1 and you're a brand new player, this is not for you. Tough Axe is not meant for you. Okay, I play it so that you can hear where you're headed. It's how adults want to play guitar. It makes it sound beautiful. We're bringing in the chords, bringing the melody, we're putting all of it together. It's really hard to do. It's really hard to play. So if you are a newer player, it's not for you. What is for you is to know that this is where you're going. Eventually, this would be no big deal for you. This arrangement's actually sort of hard. And these one chord arrangements on level 1, the Tough Axe is actually pretty darn hard. So just know that at this level, I don't really expect you to play Tough Axe. I expect you to be able to read the melody, play that, and read the chord, and make sure that that's going on well. Hold the guitar right, tune the guitar right. That's sort of the expectations for newer players. For those of you who've been around a while, yeah, let's do some fancy stuff with the right hand. Let's see how perfectly we can get our left hand on. Let's be very mindful and thoughtful that we're not playing 3 blind mice. We're playing a piece of music that we are trying to get the best possible technique into the guitar so that it will give us back its best possible sound. That's what you're thinking, no matter what level of song it is. And that's why I never lose any sleep when people say, you just teach old fashioned songs or you teach kid songs. No, I'm teaching technique. And in order to do those well, you want to start with the nuts and bolts. And right now we're assembling all these nuts and bolts. It doesn't matter. I'm playing my minds. It matters is your left hand on here properly? Are you fingering your right hand with the best possible intent? Are you holding the guitar in some manner that's going to make it easy for you to play for 4 hours in a row as you're preparing for your level 7 exam or whatever it is, right? And so don't be thinking about the song, be thinking about the techniques. Okay, I'm going to play Tough Axe for, and if you want to play along with me, that would be fabulous. The Tough Axe again is not meant as an ensemble way of playing. We do want you, if you're not playing Tough Axe, which is perfectly fine, play the melody. Okay, and if you are playing, if melody is still a bit of a challenge, grab that G chord and see how beautiful you can make the G chord. Let's make the world's greatest three blind mice here one time through, top to bottom. Let's see how we do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Letting the guitar ring, not letting my chord off. Still ringing. Shut it down. Okay. When you are thinking, hey, I want to be a fingerstyle guitar player, lots of programs out there on YouTube. Hey, we'll teach you how to do this in 5 minutes, and it's only $7,000. I don't know if I would necessarily buy into that. And a lot of the guitar players out there are super fine musicians. So take what you can from them and see if that helps you. But for most of what I notice when most of the fingerstyle stuff I see online is just way too complicated right off the bat, and it's really focused around how that particular guitarist can play it. And I'm trying to give you a system here where it get you started with the ideas, get you started with all of the tools and techniques, and then by the time you get to through level 3, you can play this way beautifully for the rest of your life. You're not going to have any problems playing anything at the end once you're through level 3. And then it becomes about, hey, what kind of music do I want to make? What kind of songs are important to me? What, where do I want to take this next? And for some people, it's classical. For some people, hey, fingerstyle is a lifetime of just beautiful tunes of songs that people actually know and were interested in listening to. And then, of course, there's little other byways and cubby holes you can go into: blues guitar, rock guitar, jazz guitar, all of that stuff. And each of those has a different sort of approach to how we're going to handle different aspects of the guitar. And so the system that is in the Denver Guitar Orchestra is designed to get you where you're a very fine fingerstyle player, and then also at the same time giving you skills where you can play in an ensemble so that you can come join the orchestra. And I would say what we're finding out being locked in our houses is that playing with other people is way more important than we even knew. This is not ideal in this situation that I'm talking to you and you're playing, and I'm assuming you're playing perfectly, right? That's not really what we're after as musicians. It's getting together and making a ton of mistakes. That's what we really enjoy doing. So hopefully this is helpful. Obviously, send me an email if you have questions or if you want to talk further about anything in particular. Every single day we're doing a lesson in 5:45 now. I'm just the previous lesson that I teach is taking too long, so we moved this to 5:45. About a 30-minute lesson each day. Level 1 is the one chord songs. Level 2 is two chord songs. Level 3 is public domain music. Doesn't matter how many chords are in it. It's just whatever whatever number of chords and techniques we need to make that happen. That's what we do there. Thank you guys for joining me. We'll always have more people joining us than is evident over here in the chat. So really glad you guys came and sat in for a little while. Hopefully you're playing guitar and not going outside. And please let me know if I can be of help to you. My email address is on the denverguitarorchestra.com website. And that's enough for tonight. Now I'm going to go have dinner, and you guys are going to go off and play a killer version of Three Blind Mice. So have a wonderful evening, and I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow. I don't remember what we're playing tomorrow, but it'll be equally wonderful. Have a great night. You bet, Jim. Have a great night. Appreciate it. Thanks. All right, I'm going to be ending the stream. Oh, by the way, subscribe if you want. That way you don't have to go through the Denver Guitar Orchestra site to find the link. Janine, you're welcome. Have a wonderful night. And if you want a thumbs up, it is great. Or a thumbs down, me. I don't care. Have a great night, you guys. We'll see you soon. Ending the stream.